Now we're going to look at page 231 in your workbook. At the top of the page, we have the definition of an adjective again. An adjective describes a noun or a pronoun. Remember, a noun is a person, place, thing, or idea, and a pronoun takes the place of a noun. I, you, me, so on. Adjectives make a sentence more interesting because they tell what kind or how many. So when we add adjectives to our sentences, it makes them more interesting, more descriptive. For example, the sentence, I see a tree. Okay, if we add adjectives to that, I see a tall tree with green leaves in the grassy meadow. That would make it a lot more interesting. In a diagram, an adjective goes below the word it describes. So in the example here, we see that if we have an adjective that describes the subject, then we diagram that adjective below the subject. If we have an adjective that describes a direct object, we diagram it below the direct object. Most adjectives come before the noun that they describe. Some adjectives end like a verb with ed or ing. So in this sample sentence, we have darkened skies can signal big storms. So the subject, what is the sentence about? Skies. What is the verb? What do the skies do? They can signal. So the adjective describing skies, the noun skies, which is our subject, is darkened. And then we have a direct object. Skies can signal what? Storms. What kind of storms? Big storms. So when you diagram this, we have skies on the left as the subject, can signal on the right as the verb, storms behind a vertical line, the direct object, and then darkened describes skies, big describes storms. Predicate adjectives come after the noun or pronoun that they describe. A predicate adjective always comes after a linking verb and describes the subject of the sentence. So simple subject, linking verb, and then the slanted line with the predicate adjective. So in the example, lightning is dangerous. Lightning is the subject. Is the linking verb. Dangerous is the predicate adjective. Lightning is dangerous. Okay, let's take a look at the guided practice. They want us to underline the adjective in each sentence and then draw an arrow from each adjective to the noun or pronoun it describes. Number 1, heavy rains often come with thunderstorms. So what is our sentence about? It's about rains. Rains is the subject. It's also a noun. So what's describing the rains? Yes, heavy. They're heavy rains. So we underline heavy and draw an arrow to rains. Number 2, thunderstorms are small compared to hurricanes. Okay, what's the sentence about? It's about thunderstorms. We have the linking verb are. Thunderstorms are what? Thunderstorms are small. So small is a predicate adjective describing thunderstorms. We draw an arrow from small to thunderstorms and underline small. Number 3, lightning frightened the young child. Okay, lightning is the subject, but there's nothing describing it, so we have to look for another noun in the sentence. Do you see it? Yes, it's child. So what kind of child? A young child. So we underline young and draw an arrow to child. Number 4, some people like to watch thunderstorms. The subject here, people, that's a noun. How many people? What kind of people? Some people. We underline some, draw the arrow to people. Number 5, lightning may be forked. So the subject is lightning. We've got linking verb, may be. So we've got the predicate adjective forked. we underline forked and draw the arrow back to lightning. And the picture here shows you an example of forked lightning. Kind of looks like a fork. It's going out in different directions. Number 6, it may be long and streaked. Okay, the subject is it. What's describing it? Right, we have 2 predicate adjectives here, long and streaked. So we have to underline both of those and draw the arrows back to the subject, it. Then number 7, some lightning is jagged. So our subject here is lightning, it's a noun. What's describing lightning? Some lightning and jagged lightning. So we have an adjective before the noun and, and then one that comes after. Some lightning, jagged lightning. Underline both of those and draw an arrow to the noun that they're describing. All right. At this point, I'd love to ask if there's any questions, but I can't since we're not together. So if you didn't quite catch that, go back and watch that part of the video again. Okay, the next part, they want us to label the sentence pattern SV for subject verb, SVDO for subject verb direct object, or SLVPA for subject linking verb predicate adjective. And then they want us to diagram the main words and the adjectives that tell what kind or how many. Prepositional phrases should be identified with parentheses, but do not need to be diagrammed. So we're going to put parentheses around them, but we're not going to diagram them yet. We'll get to that later on. Okay, number 8, we have thunderstorms are dry. Okay, so what is the sentence about? Right, it's about thunderstorms. So we're going to label that S. And then what's the verb? Thunderstorms what? Thunderstorms are. Okay, are is what kind of a verb? Right, it's linking. So we're going to label that LV for linking. Remember, when we have a linking verb, we need to look for a predicate adjective. Thunderstorms are what? Thunderstorms are dry. So we're going to label dry PA for predicate adjective. Okay, so go ahead and diagram that. Put the subject on the left side. Put the verb on the right. And then you have a predicate adjective, so you need a slanted line with the predicate adjective after that. All right, this is what your sentence should look like. And this is what your diagram should look like. Subject, linking verb, predicate adjective, thunderstorms are dry. Okay, number 9, thunder warned us of stormy weather. Okay, we didn't have a prepositional phrase in number 8. Do we have one in number 9? You're right, of stormy weather. So go ahead and put parentheses around that. We don't need to worry about any of those words now. So we only have 3 words left. So what's our subject? What is the sentence about? Right, it's about thunder. So you're going to label that with S. What did thunder do? Thunder warned. Okay, what kind of verb is that? It's action, right? So we're going to just put V above warned. Remember, when we have an action verb, we need to look for a direct object. So thunder warned whom? Thunder warned us, right? So that's the direct object. So now you're going to diagram it. Put the subject, thunder, on the left. Draw the vertical line. Put warned on the right. And then the other vertical line that doesn't cross the horizontal line, and then us behind that for the direct object. So this is what your sentence should look like. Thunder warned us, parentheses, around the prepositional phrase, and then the diagram. Okay, let's take a look at the other side of the worksheet. So the first part, you're going to underline each adjective, then draw an arrow from the adjective to the noun or pronoun that it describes. So it's the same thing that we did in part 1 of the guided practice. And then the next part is what we just did in part 2 of the guided practice. You're going to label the sentence pattern, and then with SV, SVDO, or SLVPA, and then diagram the main words and the adjectives that tell what kind or how many, and then remember to put parentheses around prepositional phrases, but you don't have to diagram them. And then the last part, you need to write 2 sentences using adjectives to describe a thunderstorm or another type of storm that you are familiar with. So 2 sentences, and make sure that you use adjectives in your sentences. All right, when you're finished with page 232, you can go on to the Extra Practice worksheet titled Adjectives. It's the one with the airplane on it. So for the first part, you're going to underline the adjectives in the sentences and draw an arrow from the adjective to the noun or pronoun it describes. So remember, you're looking for words that tell you what kind or how many. And then the second part, you're going to label the sentence pattern, SV, SVDO, or SLVPA, and diagram the main words and the adjectives that tell what kind or how many. And then the last part, you're going to read the paragraph and circle 10 adjectives that tell what kind or how many. So the easiest way to do this is go through first and maybe put an N above any word that you see that's a noun, and then go back and look to see if there's an adjective describing that noun. All right, keep working hard. You're doing a great job.